The acre is a unit of land area used in the imperial and U.S. customary systems. It is defined as the area of one chain by 1 furlong, which is exactly equal to 1/640th of a square mile, 43,560 square feet, approximately 4,046.856 square meters, or about 40% of a hectare. The acre is commonly used in Antigua and Barbuda, Australia, American Samoa, the Bahamas, Belize, the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, Dominica, the Falkland Islands, Grenada, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, India, Ireland, Jamaica, Montserrat, Myanmar, Pakistan, Samoa, St. Lucia, St. Helena, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Turks and Caicos, the United Kingdom, the United States and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The international symbol of the acre is ACRE. The most commonly used acre today is the International Acre. In the United States, both the International Acre and the slightly different U.S. Survey Acre are in use. The most common use of the acre is to measure tracts of land. One international acre is defined as exactly 4,046.8564224 square meters. An acre was defined in the Middle Ages, being the amount of land that could be plowed in one day with a yoke of oxen. Description: 1 acre equals 0.0015625 square miles, 4,840 square yards, 43,560 square feet, or about 4,047 square meters. While all modern variants of the acre contain 4,840 square yards, there are alternative definitions of a yard, so the exact size of an acre depends on which yard it is based. Originally, an acre was understood as a celion of land sized at 40 perches long and 4 perches wide. This may have also been understood as an approximation of the amount of land a yoke of oxen could plow in one day. A square enclosing 1 acre is approximately 69.57 yards, or 208 feet 9 inches on a side. As a unit of measure, an acre has no prescribed shape. Any area of 43,560 square feet is an acre. Differences between international and U.S. survey acres. In the International Yard and Pound Agreement of 1959, the United States and 5 countries of the Commonwealth of Nations defined the international yard to be exactly 0.9144 meters. Consequently, the international acre is exactly 4,046.8564224 square meters. Both the International Acre and the U.S. Survey Acre contain 1/640th of a square mile, or 4,840 square yards. But there are alternative definitions of a yard, so the exact size of an acre depends on which yard it is based. The U.S. Survey Acre is about 4,046.87260987425 square meters. Its exact value is based on an inch defined by 1 meter equals 39.37 inches exactly, as established by the Mendenhall Order. Surveyors in the United States use both international and survey feet, and consequently, both varieties of acre. Since the difference between the U.S. Survey Acre and International Acre is only about a quarter of the size of an A4 sheet of paper, it is usually not important which one is being discussed. Areas are seldom measured with sufficient accuracy for the different definitions to be detectable. South Asia. In India, residential plots are measured in cents or decimal, which is 1/100th of an acre, or 435.60 square feet. In Sri Lanka, the division of an acre into 160 perches or 4 roods is common, equivalent to other units of area. 1 international acre is equal to the following metric units: 4,046.8564224 square meters, 0.40468564224 hectare. 1 United States Survey Acre is equal to 4,046.872661 square meters, 0.40468726 hectare. 1 acre is equal to the following customary units: 66 feet times 660 feet, 10 square chains. 1 acre is approximately 208.71 feet times 208.71 feet, 4,840 square yards, 43,560 square feet. 160 perches. A perch is equal to a square rod, 4 roods, a furlong by a chain, 40 rods by 4 rods, 160 rods to 1/640th square mile. Perhaps the easiest way for U.S. residents to envisage an acre is as a rectangle measuring 88 yards by 55 yards, about 9/10 the size of a standard American football field. To be more exact, 1 acre is 90.75% of a 100 yards long by 53.33 yards wide American football field. The full field, including the end zones, covers approximately 1.32 acres. For residents of other countries, the acre might be envisaged as approximately 56.68% of a 105 meters long by 68 meters wide association football pitch. It may also be remembered as 44,000 square feet, less 1%. Historical origin. The word acre is derived from Old English aecer, originally meaning open field, cognate to West Coast Norwegian Acre and Swedish Aker, German Acker, Dutch Acker, Latin Ager, Sanskrit Ajr, and Greek Alpha Gamma Rho Omicron Sigma. In English it was historically spelled acre. The acre was approximately the amount of land tillable by a yoke of oxen in one day. This explains one definition as the area of a rectangle with sides of length 1 chain and 1 furlong. A long narrow strip of land is more efficient to plow than a square plot, since the plow does not have to be turned so often. The word furlong itself derives from the fact that it is 1 furrow long. Before the enactment of the metric system, many countries in Europe used their own official acres. These were differently sized in different countries. For instance, the historical French acre was 4,221 square meters, whereas in Germany as many variants of acre existed as there were German states. Statutory values for the acre were enacted in England, and, subsequently, the United Kingdom, by Acts Edward I, Edward III, Henry VIII, George IV, and Queen Victoria. The British Weights and Measures Act of 1878 defined it as containing 4,840 square yards. Historically, the size of farms and landed estates in the United Kingdom was usually expressed in acres, even if the number of acres was so large that it might conveniently have been expressed in square miles. For example, a certain landowner might have been said to own 32,000 acres of land, not 50 square miles of land. The acre is related to the square mile, with 640 acres making up 1 square mile. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. In Western Canada and the Western United States, divisions of land area were typically based on the square mile, and fractions thereof. If the square mile is divided into quarters, each quarter has a side length of 1/2 mile and is 1/4 square mile in area, or 160 acres. These subunits would typically then again be divided into quarters, with each side being 1/4 mile long, and being 1/16 of a square mile in area, or 40 acres. Most of the Canadian prairie provinces and the U.S. Midwest are on square mile grids for surveying purposes. Legacy acres. Customary acre. The customary acre was a measure of roughly similar size to the acre described above, but it was subject to considerable local variation similar to the variation found in Carucats, Virgates, Beauvetes, Nooks, and Farandals. However, there were more ancient measures that were also farthingales. These may have been multiples of the customary acre, rather than the statute acre. Builder's acre. In the U.S. construction and real estate development, an area of 40,000 square feet, Used to simplify math in for marketing, it is nearly 10% smaller than a survey acre. Scottish acre, one of a number of obsolete Scottish units of measurement. Irish acre equals 7,840 square yards. Cheshire acre equals 10,240 square yards. Strema or Greek acre 10,000 square Greek feet, but now set at exactly 1,000 square meters. Dunham or Turkish acre 1,600 square Turkish paces, but now set at exactly 1,000 square meters. Actus quadratus or Roman acre 14,400 square Roman feet. God's acre, a synonym for a churchyard.